Hello, and welcome to the Aeterna Podcast's Episode 0. This is a recording of our Session 0, and it's just a small teaser of what is to come. I am Sean, the Game Master. I do want to apologize for some audio hiccups during this teaser episode. We have figured out the issues and have taken steps to rectify them in coming episodes. This podcast may contain adult themes and scenes of a disturbing nature. Listener discretion is advised. A bit of scene setting. It is raining balls, as it does constantly. Those of you who've been in town for any measure of time are aware that a giant storm that extends beyond the bounds of the city, out to sea and inland, basically hammers away. It's been raining for about a month, and it will be raining for about another month and a half before it finally lets up. The bottom few tiers of the city are underwater. The docks themselves are built modularly in such a way, and they float. So, the docks are still functional, though most of the ships are moored and not making any form of travel at all. And that's just how things go during the rainy season. Not a lot of in and out. Just due to the waves as you get further out to sea. The water is channeled from upper streets down into what is effectively sewage pipes, but due to the constant rain, they're actually fairly clean, as they are siphoned down into lower tiers and eventually out into the ocean. Lightning booms, attracting everyone's attention to the sky on occasion, just to make sure that no lightning has thunder booms, just to make sure no lightning has struck anything important. And we are going to start off with Lark being kicked out into the street by Soprano.
Sid Roy,
yeah. Just fucking write that down now. Sid Roy. There we go. Out into the street from the decent, probably mid-tier hotel inn that he was in, telling him, "Hey, you go get lost. You know, worth your pay."
What? You're kicking me out now?
You're nothing but baggage these past few weeks. You're useless.
After everything I've done for you. I've done all of your embroidery.
Because I let you. Go on.
Well, fine. I'm just gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna leave then.
He tosses, a bag full of your shit at you. You should be lucky I don't keep all this stuff. It was my money that got it, after all.
Well, screw you then. And I grab my stuff and I leave.
He closes the inn door, and you can hear a bunch of people laughing from inside after his voice. You can make a perception check if you want to hear what he said when he closed the door.
I absolutely will make a perception check to hear what he said as he closes the door. Since I find it. Here we go. 26.
So as he turns in, he's like, "Servants, am I right?" And the people all kind of laugh. It looks like some people are heavy laughing, but a bunch of them are honestly kind of half-heartedly laughing at it, just yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm upset now. Okay. I have no way of making money. We just got in this town, And I have no money with me right now. So this sounds like about as good an opportunity as I'm going to get to spend the little money I have to go get a drink.
All right. I take it you don't try heading back into the very inn you were just kicked out of.
No, I do not try to go back into the very inn I was kicked out of. Unless it seems particularly welcoming, but it doesn't seem like the type of inn I can probably afford right now.
Right. And you would know from the time you have spent here, just talking to people, and from Noctis in general, that people are pretty, like, commercially elitist. So they, like, people having money are generally dickbags.
Yeah. Something I've been used to for the past 2 years. Okay, so, I'm gonna go get a drink, because I'm also slightly panicking.
Alright, go ahead and make me a perception, and I will be back in, like, half a moment.
Will do. 22 is the result of my perception.
How does one measure? How does one measure half of a moment?
Well, you take a moment and you cut that in half.
That
A
sounds
relative
dangerous.
amount or a relative measure.
That sounds really dangerous. I'm not sure if I want to start cutting through time.
Alright, I have returned.
Alright.
So with a 22 perception, while looking around for another bar, spend your money in, and finding that many of the places on this floor are, while not opulent, they are, of middling to upper quality, and generally the price is raised with that. You find a board on which several paying jobs are listed, one of which catches your eye due to it being not only offering a not insubstantial amount of payment, but also free room and food for the completion of such a quest.
As somebody who is newly homeless, that is absolutely something that would catch my eye, and I entered this establishment.
It is not here at this board.
It's not here. Okay, then yeah. I was just going to say that I follow any directions. I absolutely want to capitalize on this offer, and I would like to get free room and board. That sounds like a very good deal for me right now.
All right. So it gives an address. You can go ahead and make a knowledge local or diplomacy, or seek someone out specifically to ask a question.
Okay, I will give you a knowledge local. You can't always roll above 20. I got an 11.
You don't recognize the street names at all, but you can tell when it mentions the lower ward that it's got to be within like the bottom 10 floors of the city.
Okay, so I would start searching in that general area then.
All right. So go ahead and give me a diplomacy check to gather information.
Will do. 4.
Okay.
Let me just... I know I have a trait here that might actually lower that more. -3 penalty on diplomacy to gather information, because people are racist towards me. Stigmatized. So that is a 1.
All right. So I'll see about this. Go ahead and roll me a perception check to see who you can find and who you decide to go and ask.
Absolutely. Perception of 15.
15. All right. So you see a few people that you feel like you could probably ask. There's a town guard. There's a kid begging on the street corner, and there's a guy that seems to be out, like he's going over to like the storm drains, and he's like got a tool and he's like clanking around in them, and it seems like he's clearing them out, and they would all seem to be familiar with the area. Who do you choose to go ask?
I am going to choose to go after the beggar child because I currently feel some degree of kinship with him at the moment.
All right. So you go after him, and ask him where this thing is. Is there anything you would like to add in specifically to your request?
What was the name of the place?
The Blackfish Tavern.
Okay, let me just write that in my notes here. And no, I would just, I'd like to ask him, excuse me, young child. I'm looking for the Blackfish Tavern, and I would be so grateful if you could help me.
I'll show you where it is. You give me a coin.
I will give you a coin. I give him a copper, and I promise him a silver if he leads me to the place that I seek.
All right, mister, come on this way. And he'll lead you down a few streets and off like the main stair path of the city, and over a bit until you do indeed arrive at a small tavern with a sign of a black fish.
Okay, that is good enough for me, and I give him 10% of the money I own, 1 silver. And I thank him for his dutiful service.
He will thank you very much for the silver and the copper before running off rather quickly.
Okay.
And you walk in, and there's like one guy standing at the bar talking to the barwoman. And
well, before I walk in, can I just do a general sense motive or some check to sort of get a feel for the place? I want to make sure that I'm not walking in like some sort of like organ farm.
Oh, go ahead and make a perception. Yes.
Perception? Okay.
This is the Blackfish, where we sell your kidney for free.
25 perception check.
You can smell like probably food that was cooked a while ago, and it smells like ale. It does not smell like a slaughterhouse or anything.
Okay.
It seems legit. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so I do walk in.
You walk in. You see this one bro like standing up by the bar talking to a woman, and we are going to transition over to Leaf. So Leaf, you have arrived in town and have been digging about the town, asking around, searching for your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a gather information, which is diplomacy.
Yep. Gotta get used to this character sheet.
Sus is good. So you ask around, and you're able to suss out from a variety of people going chain, this person might know, blah, 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 blah. That sort of thing. That somewhere in the lower ward, your brother volunteers at a variety of churches, but the last time somebody saw him, he was at the Church of Abadar in the lower district.
Okay, well, I thank the kind sir, shake his hand, and I start heading over to the Abadar district.
Alright, so you head down to the lower district and go find the Church of Abadar. It's fairly prominent, and it's right on the main stair strip, so it's not hard to find at all. As you go lower in the city, you find yourself becoming watched by more and more beggars, many of which are children at the sides of the road, and make your way into the church. Within, there are several people sitting at the pews, praying, and like the pews in an Abadarian church have like that table thing on the back, so that like some people are like doing like balancing books and stuff as well.
Mhm.
And you look around and you do not see your brother in the immediate vicinity.
Okay. I imagine there's just parishioners out and about amongst the chapel.
And
So,
there's a couple of people who look like they are the members of the church that work here.
Yeah, so I'll just approach the first person in arm's reach and reach out and say, excuse me, I'm searching for someone goes by the name of Gold Thrush.
I think I saw him in here just a little while ago. Elvin fellow.
Yes, that would be correct.
You might check in the porterhouse. He might be back there, seeing if any of the homeless have any injuries.
Well, then I suppose I'll see to it, and I guess I'll go in the direction that they directed me, toward the back.
All right. So you head over into what is essentially an attached building, and in of which there are various people in tattered clothes, lying on very simple like mats and whatnot, with a couple of these clerical-looking folk standing over them. At this point, both Foresight and Aeterna are here, and you do find your brother on the far side of the room. You have to walk past a woman you've seen in the streets several times, a blind woman with stark white hair. Does Aeterna do anything at the sudden appearance of this man?
Does he look like he's going to give me money?
Probably not.
Then probably not.
He's walking alongside a 6-foot-tall tree person.
She would definitely take note of the tree person. Because that would be a bit odd to her.
People are really trying to ignore that tree person. There is a child, however, that's just like, ah! 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 Just like screaming at him.
I would go to try to calm the child.
Yeah, the like screeching visibly startles Box. He's moany
Box.
voice.
So Box is over there like recoiling from the screeching child, while you head over to find your brother. And so this big tree man, or this normal-ish sized tree man, is causing a little bit of a ruckus. Foresight, you would certainly notice this as well. And the elven man that has entered the room and is like beelining for Thon.
Indeed. So I suppose if no one's going to interrupt me, he just calls out to him from across the room. What's a good, handsome, elvish greeting?
Sup?
Yeah, right.
I'm
But-
Darren Natisha.
Yeah, right. By the years that have passed, I'd imagined you would have had more wrinkles than that.
That's handsome. You don't look old, but you are. He turns around, quizzically. How long exactly has it been since you've seen him?
At least a decade, if not more. I haven't really been working in like constant time frames in my head, because I've only got that human lifespan perspective, but it's been quite some time.
Fair enough. So he turns around and he like squints through the darkness at you because it's very dim in here, and even with low light vision, it's not great. And he's just like, "Leaf, is that you?"
He just does like a little curtsy with his I guess robes that he's wearing, and starts to march forward with his hand out, or I guess arms open for like a hug.
He'll approach you and give you a strong embrace. Go ahead and make a perception. You would notice that he's actually got some scars on him that you don't remember. He looks like he's probably gotten beaten up a few times.
Just like sombers up a little bit, but he's like probably giving away a few tells, despite trying to hide the fact that that's somewhat startling to him, and just kind of in the midst of the embrace, I've heard tale of quite a skilled priest in the area, and I thought I'd come see for myself.
Well, I'm afraid it's probably really not me. I've been helping out around here, but there are others too, and he motions over to Foresight. He's like, if anybody is the exceptional healer, it's probably this one here. Foresight, come over here.
The young-looking man will stand up and walk over, sort of giving a wave. Not sure if it's good to speak right now or not.
So is the character's actual name Foresight, or is it Trey?
Oh, I am Trey. The character is Foresight.
Gotcha. Okay. Wonderful to meet you, Foresight. So you've been helping Thon assist and heal the flock?
Not sure what you mean by the flock. I just kind of heal whoever needs healing.
The parishioners. I apologize. I've just been traveling through a lot of rural communities on my way over here, and it's hard not to think of myself as a shepherd. So what is it that you do? Are you an apothecary?
At calling yourself a shepherd, you will see an eyebrow raise. Not quite disbelief, but a curious phrase for certain, or curious at the phrase. Not just a bit of mystic stuff, you know. He'll wave his hands and there'll be a slight shimmer of light. You know, the divine stuff, I think. Maybe.
So I take it you're a follower of Abadar as well?
I'm a follower of Yelin. I don't really, do the whole loyalty to one deity, you know?
Well, brilliant. At least you're putting the community first.
Yeah, of course.
And so, Thon is going to, while you're talking to Foresight, he's going to, put a hand on your shoulder and be like, I'll be right back. And he's going to head on over to where Box and this child are getting increasingly agitated at each other, as Aeterna tries to comfort the child. And Thon will crouch down with Aeterna. Anything I can help with, dear?
This child is upset.
Yes, I'm sorry. My brother's friend isn't a common sight, I don't think. It's all right, Leroy. It's all right. Calm down. He's not going to hurt you. And the kid's like, it's a wood monster, man! Because this is a very small child.
About how big would you say, or how old?
Probably about, 6 or 7.
So could I walk forward and attempt to I guess calm the child and see if I could maybe convince him that Box is much nicer than he might appear.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a diplomacy.
Oh no. So he just kind of walks up, and the first thing that he does as he's approaching is he makes eye contact with Box, and you can see him level out the palms on one of his hands to about the height of the child whenever he's standing, upright. And then once he does that, he'll kneel down next to the child, and he'll just kind of try and get the kid's attention and say, "Do you know what my friend here's name is?"
He's like, Satan.
Oh, brilliant! The kid's Catholic. So,
Abadar is now Catholic.
there you go. Great Abadarian Jesus. So he'll just kind of like lean down further, so maybe the kid's eye level is a little bit higher than him while he's kneeling. He'll say, "No, my friend's name is Box. Do you know why they call him Box?"
No, that's a stupid name. He's shaped like a people.
His name is Box because a box is where one keeps their treasures, and if you're nice to him, he might just share one of those treasures with you. And you kind of see like Leaf doesn't really exactly carry a whole lot of gear on himself. He's got like his little walking stick, and then he's got his clothes. And so Box is kind of left to carry all of their stuff. So he's got like 2 satchels like strapped to his back, and you can see some like pots and pans and stuff dangling from his side. And he just leans forward to the kid again, and he's like, "Would you like to see some of his treasures?"
So the kid's like sniffing. He still looks very scared, but he nods.
Okay, and then so I kind of like stand up and I put my hand on the child's back to kind of like direct him over, and I just kind of like lean down, but from like a standing position instead of kneeling, and I say, but first you have to introduce yourself. So what's your name, son?
My name's Baker.
Okay, Baker. This is Box. Box. This is Baker. And I just kind of like give the little signal to Box to like shake a hand, the little greeting thing, like you would do for like a dog to give paw or something like that. I don't know how the whole handle animal thing works with plants. Given his rather humanoid shape and whatnot, I figure I get some leeway on some things.
I believe you use your wild empathy to affect him, so it's your level plus your plus D12 or plus D20 plus your wisdom.
Charisma.
Or charisma, yeah. Charisma.
Ooh. I guess he's just trying to get him to shake a hand.
Yeah, that's an easy enough trick for a humanoid-ish entity. But he kind of like reaches out like really aggressively towards the kid, and the kid's like.
So the important thing in a situation is to make sure that the kid knows that the adults aren't scared, so they don't have to be scared. So you see, Leaf just kind of like chuckle at that, and he takes the kid's hand in one hand, and he takes Box's hand in the other, and he just kind of like, shakes them with his hand kind of like on the bundle.
Make me a combat maneuver check.
Oh no.
Combat maneuver check. Oh my god.
Can I use my spell-like ability on this child to try to suggest that he calm the fuck down?
Oh, you have the suggestion?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ace.
Yeah.
Ace the combat maneuver and suplex the kid.
Is Foresight doing anything after they just walked away from him?
He's very curious to see where this is gonna go. He's ready with the healing in case it's needed, but
He fucking punches the kid in the face. BAM!
My tree man's gonna
Wheels?
give him the people's elbow.
Okay, so, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. What's the save on it? Tracy?
It's just, it's equal to class level, so I guess it's 10 plus my class level plus my pertinent modifier, right? Yes? No?
I think it's half class level, unless it
Half
says
class
otherwise.
level? Okay.
But yeah.
Well, my pertinent modifier is 4.
Okay, if he fails. And so he's just like he like while you're like forcing his hand like forcibly into Box's hand, and like Box closes his hand and you're like shaking them up and down with your hands like somewhat violently. He's just like
Huh, not so
this
bad.
isn't so bad.
So,
But
You know-
you would have noticed around Tracy, is that like a racial spell like ability?
Yes, it's racial.
Okay. So you would have noticed her muttering some things, and like the arcane sigils like flowed out of her mouth in various directions, like into this kid's ear. Which, if you have spellcraft, you can make a spellcraft.
Sure. Oh, is that trained only?
Yes,
Or no?
it is.
Okay, so I did not have space to put a rank in that, so I will leave it for now. But he just kind of squints at her very briefly, and then goes back to his interaction with the child.
All right. So the kid like mellows the fuck out, and is like, "Oh, this isn't so bad. I am calm now."
Okay, and I actually apologize because I forgot one of my racial traits actually gives me +2 on diplomacy versus humanoids.
Okay.
So it would have been like 2 points higher, but neither here nor there. So he just kind of like leans in and he says, "See, the tree man is quite friendly, and now to hold up my end of the bargain, you can kind of see him like stand up and start rummaging through the packs on the back of this tree person, and you can hear some like bits of metal clanking together, and Leaf has a huge smattering of profession and crafts and just a bunch of inane bonuses on that stuff, and so I assume that he's just got a collection of essentially worthless trinkets, and so maybe he's got like a little carving, or like a twisted doll made out of reeds or something like that. Kind of like the equivalent of like whenever you're going through downtown and somebody tries to sell you a rose made of palm fronds, that kind of thing. And so he's just got like this little man that he's either carved out of wood or like woven together from reeds, and he reaches down and he hands it to the kid and says, a trinket from the tree man, and if you ever should need us, you know where to find us.
Here?
Indeed, this is my brother, the priest himself. He'll know where to find us.
Oh, okay. So with that, the child takes his little toy now and like goes, and he like walks over to like a group of the other kids that were like watching things from the other side of the room, and starts being like, "Oh, did you see that? I took a tree man, and I got a tree man for the tree. I'm an annoying child."
He's the chosen one.
So Thawne will stand up and be like, "I see you've gotten better with people since the last time I saw you.
That's all I've spent my time doing, really."
And thanks, Aeterna." He'll hold a hand out to you to help you up.
I will accept his help. I mean, the guy thinks I'm blind, so.
So he helps you up. And so you're still pretending to be blind even in here?
Yeah, these people all think I'm blind.
All right. Go ahead and make a bluff check, and both Foresight and Leaf make sense motives. So you would notice that this woman, both of you would notice that she looks very blind, but she seems pretty damn well aware of her surroundings.
That seems like a question to ask in my free time. A bit more private.
Make it a point to make eye contact and smile.
Meanwhile, all the mooks around here are just like, oh, this poor blind woman. and he leads you back over to your mat, which you you perfectly walked away from without tripping over other people on the way to this kid.
Yeah.
This blind woman. All these inept idiots.
Don't be mean to her. She's blind.
His Thawne is the blind one. Like, nobody knew. He's just really good at faking that he's not. So, Thawne will help you back to your thing, and he'll turn to Leaf and be like, so, you're staying in town, then?
Well, I've actually come to reconnect. Honestly, I've been so far away from family for so long, I felt a visit was obligated. And my services are at your disposal. I'd like to help if I can.
Well, I don't really have anything that would need much help other than what I do. If you want to help around, I know there's plenty of people out in the town that need help. I remember seeing something on one of the boards. It looked like a pretty good deal, too. Something like 150 gold and a place to stay and good food for helping clear out the basement.
Helping clear out a basement with what?
I'm not sure, really. I can't quite remember. But, it probably isn't anything too terrible. Nothing Box couldn't handle, I'm sure.
Oh,
How is he faring with all the extra water?
I think he's doing just fine as long as we keep his roots dry at night. That said, I was hoping for more community-oriented work. Certainly there's some things around the church that have been wearing down, or perhaps Foresight could use some assistance in healing the infirm. If this basement is as dire a situation as it could possibly be, or the only way I could assist, I can definitely go investigate. But the church and my brother were really my foremost concerns in coming down here.
Well. You know, we could probably use a little bit of help. Let's see here. Wait right here and I'll be right back. I'll go ask Father if he needs anything done around that maybe you and Box can help with. So he'll leave the room.
I'd be happy to.
And he will be gone for a few minutes. Aeterna and Foresight, do you do anything or speak with anyone in particular while he's gone?
Well, that depends. Did I hear them over talking about this place that was paying this money?
Yeah, you were like...
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
So you just stand up and walk out? Just
Yep.
Fucking, like, bye-bye blind bullshit, and just walks out.
Well, there's this person I want to ask why she's pretending to be blind, so I'm a follower.
Alright. So they just walk out. So you'll head over to the Blackfish, which is only like 2 or 3 streets away. Like, y'all both been here in this area long enough to know that. You've begged next to it, Aeterna, and you would know Foresight from being here for a couple of weeks that it's a place to go and eat sometimes. You've probably healed up a small bar fight from there.
I could see that.
When I step out of the church,
Mm-hmm.
I will be using Face in the Crowd.
All right. So go ahead and make me a perception when you come out behind her, Foresight. Foresight sees what his shitty eyes can see.
I got a +1 bonus. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't make him not see me. It just makes me appear to be normal and fit in.
Yeah, but in a way, it's like if you were just glancing your eyes over, it suddenly would have been like, where the fuck did she go?
Yeah, definitely looking for the white ear.
If he interacts with me, he gets a will save against it.
Oh, okay. You would notice that, as you're walking out behind her, she, just walks into a group of other people, and, like the sharp, stark contrast of her hair and shit just, fades away, and she almost looks like she's meant to be, walking with those people.
He is less impressed with that and more impressed that she can just walk into a crowd without getting pushed around.
She's following them. So go ahead and make me a will save, Foresight, as you follow her.
Yeah, I'll do that. What is my will? Not terrible, not amazing. 3. Yeah, that's about what I expected.
You know she's in that crowd somewhere, but you're not sure where. Logic dictates it. Okay, so back to Leaf. Thawne returns, and he tells you that he's got a little bit of healing that you can do. There's somebody just come in with a bit of a stab wound, and they need some healing. And he tells you that the church is, I mean, it's old. It could probably do with a little bit of repair, but we would have to get the materials for that. So we could certainly work on that sometime soon. It's not that cheap to get wood during the rains, so maybe in a while. Does Leaf have any response?
Okay, yeah, if I can move to assist with the stabbing as well, he'd like to.
Yes. So you can go in and you can go through whatever means. The guy's been stabbed in the stomach, but not real severely or anything. It's probably from a bar fight or some sort of alleyway altercation. And the guy's just like, "Oh, can't you heal it, please?" And the cleric is trying to get him to make a donation.
Just kind of he visibly and audibly scoffs at the concept of trying to solicit a donation from someone who's suffering. So he just kind of
go ahead and make a sense move.
Okay. Yeah. Probably not. No information gleaned.
While this guy has certainly been stabbed, there is no denying that. He's really playing up his agony, a lot. And he also looks to be the sort that would probably be the one doing the mugging in the alleys. And you get the impression that he's probably just trying to get a free heal out of this guy.
I still don't feel like we should necessarily be withholding healing from someone with an actual legitimate stab wound. So I will. I mean, I'll make a heal check, I suppose, and see if I can do anything to assist in staunching any bleeding or what have you.
He does have makeshift bandage on it, and it's not like bleeding profusely or anything. But go ahead and make your heal check, see if you can patch it up any better.
Sure.
All right, so you like pull this thing off, and the wound's really shallow. It's like maybe 1 hit point's worth of damage, but you get it like cleaned and whatnot pretty well, and it's like already stopped bleeding for the most part, but like that rag had absorbed everything so far. And the cleric finally sighs after this man's arguing with him. Like, see, this guy's good. He's helping me out. You motherfuckers, like, you're not gonna heal me. And the cleric sighs and shakes his head. And he's like, Donovan, if you're in here again with another stab wound, we're not healing you without a donation. And he'll go in and he'll heal the wound with a cure light. And Donovan's like, yeah, I see how it is. You don't care about your fucking money, jackasses. And this guy, he's missing like 3 or 4 of his teeth on like the bottom left half of his jaw. He like stands up. He doesn't thank you or anything. He just continues bitching at the cleric and your brother as he walks away.
Just call after him and say, if you need your clothing mended after the stab wound, I can help in laundering them.
You gonna do it for free?
Kill him with kindness. Well, I'm certainly not going to charge someone who's been a victim
come on,
so recently.
Come here. You come with me. You come with me. We're gonna go. I'm gonna get you some nice food. How about that? I'm gonna get you some nice food and fuck these guys. Which one of these guys is your brother?
I'm actually obligated to remain. Yeah. I've actually other tasks to perform on church grounds. But if you've a spare outfit, you can leave this one, or you can come back and drop this one off,
all right,
and I can mend it.
Maybe. I'll see you then. And he'll head out the door into the rain. And Thawne is just like, how far behind these two are we?
Since we were just following them to wherever they were going.
Oh, you mean the little crowd?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you're not far behind at all. You're probably like 5 or 10 feet, and she's literally in them. Like she's like there.
Gross.
Okay. She like literally in the crowd, not literally in the people in the crowd.
Okay, that's slightly less gross. Yeah, she's from people. Yeah.
Still pretty gross. Frankly, I'm uncomfortable.
So at a certain point they will deviate from the given path. So you're really not far behind them at all. And like they keep going up the stairs, but the alley that goes to the Blackfish is down to your left. So what are you doing, Adira?
I am going to the Blackfish.
All right. So you realize that she was there the whole time, and like you just like, it's like one of those things where you like stare at something and you don't realize it's there until like it moves. or something. If you've ever done that, it feels
That's
like
happened to me with the stick bug.
Yeah, it's like that.
Scared the shit out of me.
Except even weirder because you were literally watching that group of people the whole time that she vanished into, and then she just suddenly appeared. But like you realize which body she was during that time.
Fair enough. Honestly, with as unfamiliar he is with crowds, he might not even suspect that there's anything unnatural with that.
Right,
Getting used to seeing a crowd.
Everybody just blends in Assassin's Creed style.
Holy shit, there's more than one person here at a time. Wow.
Just everybody evens out.
Yeah, you'll follow up, sure.
All right, so y'all head down a few streets worth of alleys, and you find yourself under a sign of a black fish. Adira obviously being able to see it.
Yeah, she just walks through the door.
All right, within, you see two dudes. One who just walked in ahead of you, and another at the table talking to a woman. And then we go back to Leaf. Leaf.
So I suppose I'm just standing here watching the snaggle-toothed stab victim wander off.
Yes, he leaves out the church doors, and your brother and the cleric both kind of sigh and shake their heads. Like, well, thank you. I believe you're Thon's brother, he said?
Exactly so.
Oh, thank you for helping. We do try.
Honestly, it was my pleasure to do so. It seems like some of the folks from the neighborhood may be more than a handful.
Yes, and sometimes, though we have little proof, we're pretty sure that people are out there doing things they really shouldn't and getting hurt, and they come here for healing. And we're just trying to keep the church from going under and help everyone. After all,
And I take it fundraising, tithing hasn't
well,
helped.
it's all we can do to keep everyone fed and the homeless as off the streets as we can. Of course, we don't have a very large space to house people in, but that and making sure that any homes that are severely damaged get aided in their reconstruction. There's a lot of maintenance on this city. Each ward has its church in which to raise its funds. And do you have knowledge religion?
I don't. Although I do have a feat that lets me use all knowledges untrained. And I get like a small bonus to it.
yeah.
So if you'd like, I can make a knowledge religion check. Bam.
Okay, so yes. You would know that Abaddon, they are very community focused in the sense that almost like socialism. Like they're like going to bring in the money to make sure that everything around here is like kept up to a certain degree. And in turn, that will make things better for us and everybody else. Like they follow a feedback loop style train of thought for like currency, bookkeeping, infrastructure, things like that. So like it's not totally selfless or anything, but it does generally turn out for a more good thing. But it does seem like this church, just because it's in like a poorer part of town, probably does suffer a bit for its intended purpose. And like it seems like they do a lot of charity work. Like all those homeless people over there, they're fed, they're dry, they're taken care of, even if only meagerly.
Okay, so I do suppose it may be in our best interest to pursue that basement clearing job, if only to garner some funds to help support the church. Do you know if there are any able-bodied folks present that might be interested in assisting?
Foresight was just here. Where'd he go? Which you can make a retroactive perception check.
Okay.
Okay, so you would have noticed that when Aeterna and he left out, they went out the front of the church. Like they didn't like go anywhere else in the church or anything like that. They both went out the front doors.
Okay.
Thrawn does not. Thawne does not appear to be aware of this, however.
Okay. So I suppose I'll pursue them and see what assistance I can garner.
All right. Here, I'll look around and be right back. I might have something that can help you. And he will go, and he will come back, and he will be holding a writ for you, and basically it's a writ from the church that will give you a bit of an easier time talking to people in town if you show it to a guard. Basically, they'll know that you're not just some shady character asking random weird questions, but you're like working with the church trying to do something.
Gotcha.
And I can help you spread out and look too.
Okay, I may ask for your assistance on that, but they just left shortly ago, so I don't imagine I should be too far behind.
All right, well, then, and he turns to the older man, and he's like, he's like, if that's all right, Father. And he's like, it's all right, but just be back as quick as you can. So he'll head out the doors with you if that's the direction you head. Go ahead and make a perception. All right, so Thran looks around and he's just like, huh, they've vanished. But you, while you do not see the woman, Aeterna, you do see Foresight kind of like up the street a while. And he's like following a little group of people, it looks like.
I'll see if I can increase the pace to catch up.
Alright, so you just hustle towards them, and then you would see Aeterna appear out of this crowd. You didn't notice her before, but she'll head down an alley, as will they. And you notice just before you reach them, they both open the door to a tavern and walk inside. And above is the sign of a black fish.
Okay. Do I catch up to them in time, or do they manage to squeak in first?
You can catch up right then and there. Your brother is just like back at the front of the alley, and it's just like, where'd you go? He seems terribly inept at perception for some reason.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
he is blind.
I just call out to the two and say, hello, you were the two from the church, yes?
Well, obviously.
I mean, I guess I'm technically from the church as far as here's concerned.
Oh, Apologies, I'm not familiar with the backs of the locals' heads yet. But I did want to extend an offer. I was planning on investigating some work that Thon had mentioned, and wasn't certain if you'd be interested in joining.
That's why I'm here. Did you?
It just kind of like turns around and Thon, this is the building?
He's like running up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Huh, what a coincidence.
Strange indeed. So I suppose you wouldn't mind if I accompanied?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, more to Aeterna and Foresight. It's just, so I suppose if the job listing is why you're here, then you wouldn't mind if I accompanied?
As long as the lady pays, it doesn't matter who's there.
I mean, I don't think I really got anything better to do. For sure.
Okay. Alright then, Box, come. And, just, let's proceed.
Why does that tree follow you?
We've been longtime friends. For his entire life, essentially.
You can be friends with a tree.
I mean, you can be friends with anything.
Well, anyone can.
Was not aware of this.
Alright, so as y'all are culminated and talking about this and walking into the bar, Troy,
Yes.
you are wandering around. You've been at a small Desnan shrine outside of town, and heading back down towards the cheapest tavern you could find to spend the night at.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Because you a cheap ass.
I mean, I guess. I mean, he's used to me.
I mean, you're a broke ass. You're a kineticist.
Broke ass. Like, probably the richest person in the party right now.
Probably, honestly, which is sad. But yes. So your cheap ass is headed back down to the Blackfish.
Oh, is that the
From whence?
cheapest tavern in town?
I mean, that isn't literally just actively infested with rats.
Oh, okay, sure.
Do you want a different cheapest tavern in town?
No, it just
Have you been staying in the rat infested one?
I mean, he would prefer not to stay in something full of rats. So, I mean, if this is the best place, then yes, that's fine.
The Blackfish costs like 2 silver a night normally, and like the other place costs like 3 copper a night. So, how much of a cheap ass are you?
I mean, just whatever's reasonable.
Whatever's reasonable.
He's not going to give you a direct answer.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's Troy.
You've been staying in the shitty one.
Okay, that's fine.
There. You have filth fever for not giving me an answer.
Oh no.
No. But you see on your way down this job entry, which is free rooms plus pay plus free food in a possibly not rat infested place.
Well, you don't get rich by spending all your money, so seems like a reasonable job to me.
All right. Go ahead and make a knowledge local check.
That would require me to have knowledge local, which I don't.
You can make a 10.
I could try. Hey.
Looky there. You know it's in the lower ward, and roughly, like, you know one of the streets, because it's one of the bigger streets. So go ahead and you can either ask around, or you can try and just like walk up and down the street and find the other one.
Would the second be just a perception roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander around. I'm not in a hurry.
Okay. All right. So just as you see an elven man looking around in front of, like, he's standing in your way. So, like, he's, like, looking around, like, shouting, "Where'd you go?" And then you hear a shout from down the alley, and he, like, runs off that way. You see the name of the road. And it's like, oh, this one. And you turn down that way. After this elf's, like, jogging. So how do you proceed down this alleyway?
Well, I mean, there's nothing in particular about the elf guy that makes me want to follow him. But, I mean, this is the road I was looking for. So I'm just going to start meandering down. Like I said, not in a hurry.
All right. You come across a tavern known as the Brown Fish. You're like 2 streets over. But you follow up to this, and you see this group of people, like, conversating, this elf whom is running up to it and is, like, reaching his fingers out towards the sign, except not really.
Well, I mean, if this looks like the bar I need to be at, I'll, walk into it.
There's 3 people standing in the doorway.
Well, I'll approach them and just kind of try and nudge by them and just be like, excuse me.
Hey,
Excuse me.
Riley.
Yes.
Some dude just walked in the door, and then, like, a bunch of others showed up at the door and started making a ruckus.
Well, isn't that convenient? I was just talking to Carla, the owner, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So in that case, picking up from the conversation I'm having with Carla, I will carry on by saying, so, Carla, the problem you're having in the basement, you don't quite know what's causing it, do you?
No, not quite. Something small and quick. Might be rats. I hope it's not rats. I hate rats.
Do you think it might be miniature halflings? By any chance?
No. I don't. What would those be? Quarterlings?
Yes, exactly, the quarterlings. I suppose they're not much of a problem around here.
I didn't realize those were a thing.
Carla, I'm having you for a joke.
I don't think those are a thing.
Start laughing. So, in exchange for helping you with this basement problem, you'd offer free room and board, correct?
Free room, free food, and I got a sack of 150 I'm willing to part with.
Well, you sold me at free room and board, which means you just oversold yourself, but I'll take the job anyways. Tell me, Carla, in your expert opinion on this particular problem, do you think it would be something I could handle on my own, or something that I should perhaps seek the aid of between 1 and 5 other individuals?
That's an oddly specific question.
I look over my shoulder at the 1 to 5 other individuals who have just walked in.
Some of which are, like, debating, and there's, like, one trying to squeeze through the door. It's like, well, it's that or their competition, I guess.
Does the winner get more of the gold?
I mean, I don't want anybody getting hurt.
Well, I'm assuming it would be a friendly competition.
You assume a lot of people.
Assuming it would be
If anyone do get hurt, I can heal them.
See? No one's gonna get hurt. Someone can heal them.
So at this point, like, what the group of 4 that's, like, currently, like, debating. And,
I just heard the word hurt.
Try to squeeze through them. What's going on there?
You know.
I'm just curious.
I mean, I'm just trying to get past. So unless anybody stops me, I guess I just pass through them all, or squeeze my way past them.
I will take a single step, relatively large step backwards, to allow you to pass.
Now, where am I in all this, Lark?
Lark is the one that, like, walked in the door before everybody else, so you're just standing in the middle of the door.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I would have gone straight for, like, the advertisement that I saw, did it ask to actually speak to anybody, or?
It said to talk to Carla.
Okay, I would immediately be looking for Carla. That's what I would be doing.
There are 3 other people that are not, like, coming in the door behind you. There's this, like, really sauced looking guy over in the corner. He's like snoring. There's a woman behind the counter, and there's another man who just mentioned that the woman behind that counter's name is Carla.
Okay, so I would approach the woman behind the counter.
All right. So, are you here for a drink, or are you here to work?
I'm here to work, ma'am. I heard there was free room and board.
Yep.
Oh, good.
It looks like you've got between 1 and 5 so far at this point. Riley.
I turn to the fellow. Hello there. My name is Riley Moorheim, and I'm also looking to aid this fine woman in clearing her basement of potential miniature halfling problems.
Miniature halfling problems?
Yes, we call them quarterlings from where I'm from.
Make a bluff and a diplomacy.
Okay. Let's see.
Do I do a sense motive?
There you go.
Yes, you do a sense motive against this bluff. So the sense motive, I believe, beats out the bluff.
Okay.
So he's making a joke.
Okay.
About the quarterlings. You do realize serious. Though he's got a pretty decent straight face on.
Fair enough.
It'd be really embarrassing if we came up with a way to deal with half a dozen rats. Oh no, it's not going to be half a dozen rats.
All right.
It's not going to be half a dozen rats at all.
So we have to clear out the basement. So what's in the basement? No, really.
She's like, I don't know. Whatever they are, they're small. They're fast. I haven't found any like rat droppings or anything, and they just practically vanish. They run behind things and then they're just gone. And I can't find what the hell they are.
Oh, all right. Then yeah, I'd love to give it a shot.
All right, awesome. So I guess that's gonna be 75 each, because I'm not having people stab each other for extra gold.
But I thought you said you wanted it to be a competition, didn't you, Carla?
I didn't say that.
Are you sure? You might have.
You keep flirting.
All smiles.
And there's enough people getting jacked in the alleys around here. We don't need it to happen in my basement.
That sounds lewd.
That sounds lewd. Lewdy pie. All right, so back to the group of 3 now in the door as the Oriad like squishes his way through. Are y'all still just conversating in the door?
Aeterna would be going towards the counter. She's not finding this at all amusing.
All
You
right.
stop paying attention at the word hurt.
So it's Foresight and Leaf standing in the doorway as Brock and Aeterna approach the counter.
No. Foresight stopped paying attention to the conversation at the word hurt and went over. It's like, what?
Leaf just gets left behind. Meanwhile, your brother is just becoming progressively more blind. Like, is this a house?
Where am I? How'd I get here?
As a player, I really need to apologize to y'all for Aeterna's attitude, but she still thinks she's a queen.
Why are you apologizing for a good character?
like so she just like doesn't even realize she's stuck up.
Don't even worry about it, love. It's all good character development.
We will break that habit soon.
All right. So, Brock and Aeterna very shortly followed by Foresight, and then is Leaf going to speed tail them? All right, and then
I will
Leaf
pursue.
all approach the thing.
Yeah. They just keep leaving me behind. I don't know why.
And your fucking tree. Box walks in. She's like, "What the fuck is that?"
I feel like that's a fair reaction.
Yeah, Aeterna's just like, woman.
Can I help you?
You need somebody to kill things. I take it.
Kill, exterminate, get rid of. I don't give a shit. Get them out. Get whatever the fuck is in my basement out.
I can do that.
Well,
That's 50 gold each.
Cool.
All right, she shouts back at the rest of you. Are y'all here to drink or are y'all here to work?
Well, why can't it be both?
Fair enough.
Both would be nice, provided you have quality alcohol.
She lifts you up on her many shoulders. Porque no listos. I've got pretty decent hooch here, so if it's not good enough for you, I guess. Oh well, too bad.
Fair.
By decent, do you mean cheap?
Oh God, no.
Because if it's cheap, then it's certainly good enough.
Of course, by definition.
Depends on what you're ordering.
Oh, it depends on how much it costs.
Well, guess what? If you shit.
Well, I do actually. I do it at least once a day usually.
Gotta keep regular.
Well, guess what? You get it for free if you clear the goddamn things out of my basement.
Oh, are they goddamned? That's fair.
Would you point us to this basement?
Yeah, let's go kill.
This-
I take offense to
This
that.
way, you weird motherfuckers.
Yes, a band of strangers.
So she winks at Riley though.
As she's leading us down, I asked her, so what have these things been doing in your basement?
They're mostly eating through my food stocks. They keep spoiling my fish and my grain.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. So, what are we thinking? Like rats or something?
I don't know if it's rats or not. I haven't seen any rat droppings, and they're quick. That's all I know. I'd say they're about the right size, but
All right. Well, I'm pretty quick too, so we'll see if we can do anything about this.
so they're down there. I just get this creepy fucking feeling. So they're down there. You can go down there. All y'all can go down there and figure it the fuck out.
What is the creepy fucking feeling?
She just looks at you like there's like this vein like throbbing in the side of her head.
Doesn't notice, just looking up in the sky, wondering to himself.
All right.
The stone sky above
Exactly.
of the roof
That's the
of
one.
the ceiling.
Well, desperation pushes me forward. I approach the basement.
All right.
Do I also get a creepy feeling as I approach this basement?
I mean, not inherently. No, it's a basement.
Okay, and it's not like a particularly creepy basement. It's not like a murder cellar.
No, I mean it looks like food store.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I head down.
All right. And as you head
Wow.
down,
Wow.
that's where we're gonna leave.
Do. Yay!
Hello again, Sean here. I want to thank you for tuning into this special teaser episode of the Aeterna podcast. Keep an ear out next week for episode 1 as our party finally comes into their own. And murders some quarterlings. Probably. I want to give a shout out to a few people that have really helped spur me on to get this podcast up and running and inspiring me. First is my wife Tracy. She's playing in the pod as Aeterna, and first suggested that we put together a podcast. Second is the Hideous Laughter crew. Griffin, Haley, Steve, Emily, and Brooks, who inspired me and Tracy and always give us a good laugh. They're great people, and you should give them a listen while you wait for the next episode. Next are Tim, Chris, and Brian from the Fillmore's Crossing podcast, also known as Lost Context D&D, who have also been a great inspiration. Griffin and Tim especially have helped me smooth out bumps 100 times faster and give me tons of great advice and help. You can find us on Twitter at Eldritch Dream, Hideous Laughter is at Laughter Hideous, and Fillmore's Crossing is at D&D LCP. I want to give a big shout out to the folks over at Cryo Chamber for allowing us to use their ambient music for the podcast. I've been a fan of their Mythos-themed dark ambience for quite a while and proud to have it on the pod. You can find them at Cryo Chamber on Twitter or cryochamber.bandcamp.com. This podcast is presented by an Eldritch Dream Games. Until next time, may the Outer Gods bless you.